All right.
Bracket number two,
most expensive year to move ever. It's a new study from Hire a Helper, a moving resource. Some states and metros are seeing costs rise by nearly 40% year over year. The average cost of a move seems low. Was $400.
Seems really low.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even think we were able to get our piano moved for $400.
$427 nationwide in May, about 15% higher than a year earlier. The study shows ballooning gas prices, supply chain disruptions, and 40-year high inflation are primarily fueling moving expenses, says Nadia Evangelou, a senior economist and director of the National Association of Realtors.
Oh, boy.
I wonder what her salary is.
We could probably look it up.
This means that people need to spend more of their budget on housing, she adds. This additional cost may discourage people from moving, resulting in an even lower mover rate in 2022.
I hope $400 doesn't discourage somebody from moving.
Yeah.
$400?
That is the average. I mean, people might be just moving like one thing and it's bringing the average down, but I don't know of any quotes to move a house that's anywhere close to that.
I have a client right now that they're closing here in Connecticut and they're moving their belongings to Maine, and it's going to cost them $6,000.
Well, it's interesting you say Maine is up 51% year over year. So Maine is the highest
so that makes sense because their mover is coming from Maine.
For an increase.
I think they're actually storing their stuff for a little bit there
too.
But.
So the top five, Maine 51% of an increase for moving costs since the start of 2022. Nebraska 30%, Utah 28%, Alabama 27%, Idaho 27%. Only 5 states saw a decline in moving costs. That was Kentucky, New Hampshire, Vermont, Minnesota, and New Mexico. Also moving getting pricier in most U.S. cities. 90 out of 108 cities saw moving in 2022 to be more expensive. So takeaway here for agents, real estate brokers, teams is I think it's a headache to try to get into the moving business. You know, that is a service that some teams offer. They offer
a truck.
They offer a truck, so they like sign a waiver, and then the client has the truck and they can move their own stuff, right? Which is a nice little perk. Like, hey, you don't have to go rent a U-Haul. Here's our team branded truck or van or whatever U-Haul.
I don't know. I think gone are the days of you wanting to move yourself, though.
Well, but some people do move themselves. I know. So and that's probably why the moving expense, now that just dawned on me, it's probably so low because they're just renting a U-Haul. That's the majority of people moving. Yeah. They're renting. Not everybody's super bougie like you, Nicole, and they're going to have somebody else move.
I'll be honest,
not that you're going to move because you've been in the same house your whole life.
I'm never moving, but after I did move, like if I had to pack that stuff up without the movers, why even do it?
So if you got movers packing everything and doing all that, it's going to be a very higher cost. But the average is probably, hey, I'm renting a U-Haul. Okay, so there's some teams, some agents, brokers that have done this as a service for their client. That's a headache at times. Now, I think at the very least, everybody listening to this should say, I should have 3 or 4 reputable resources that I have a relationship with on the moving side, and I know their prices inside and out, and I can articulate this to people who have this question as opposed to like, oh, Google it, right? Like if you're a buyer moving to a different area, what level of service do you want? Do you want the agent that says, Google your moving costs? Or here are the 3 or 4 people that I recommend. Here are the prices. Here's where they're located. Here's who you talk to. And you just have the information. You sound like the expert. You know what the heck you're talking about.
Right.
So I would definitely encourage everybody to do that due diligence, create those relationships, go stop by the office. Just like an inspector is going to bring, bagels to your office, go stop in their office. Bring them a bagel. Bring them a donut. Get to know the person that's answering the phone.
Because I'll be honest, though, if it's a $425 expense, like maybe that's your gift. Maybe if you really partner with a moving company too, you can even.
And maybe if you're partner with the moving company, you don't have to buy the van. Maybe they're going to deck it out with your branding on the dashboard or something. So it's funny you say that because I've actually been talking to a dumpster company for that same purpose. Yeah, there you go.
I'll have to brainstorm that one.
Let's brainstorm the dumpsters. Dumpster diving.
Yeah.
Hey guys, appreciate you checking out this episode of The Real Word. If you want the full episode, go over to the Broke Agent YouTube. That's where we're hosting the full podcast. If you want to continue to see the segments broken out and the short clips, stay right here on The Real Word YouTube.